on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked?
I do think that works, Jay Levine and Dr. Bart Rademacher. And shall we introduce these fine folks to each other?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Let's do it. First, from Omaha, Nebraska, co-founder and CEO, helping over 10,000 physicians compare and buy disability and life insurance to ensure income is protected no matter what. Stopping doctors from getting ripped off on these critical protection securities, securing the right coverage simply and stress-free. Currently exploring acquisitions to help the ability to serve physicians even better. Let's welcome to the show, Dustin. Hello, Dustin. Welcome to the Heart of Influence. And what I did mention in the green room is everyone's going to have the opportunity to share a fun fact. Now, you're going to start us off in that fun fact. And this could be a fun fact of something that you're proud of, something cool that you've done, something that would make us go like, Dustin, no way. But we want to keep it like a headline fun fact. This is not like story time where it's like a 3-minute dissertation on the fun fact. It's like that, like the newspaper headline of the fun fact. So Dustin, what is the fun fact that you're going to kick us off with and wow us with?
Yeah, well, it's the first thing that popped into my head, which is I flooded my high school auditorium.
Now that is fun. That is a headline fun fact. And then I got to ask Dustin, what did you do to flood your high school auditorium?
Yeah,
did you do it on purpose or accident?
Yeah, it was totally an accident. In a small town school, your old your auditorium is your old basketball court back in the 70s, and so we were doing some show choir stuff in there one day, and of course there's basketballs in there. So I threw a full court shot and hit one of the sprinkler heads and knocked that off, and it just sitting down a nice steady stream of water for probably about 45 minutes and flooded the basement of the school, warped the whole floor. It was several $100,000 worth of damage. So I left my mark.
You left your mark, Dustin. That is a super fun story. Note to self, do not invite Dustin on your basketball team. It could be disastrous, but Dustin, are you ready to have some fun today?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Next up, we got from Dallas, Texas. Welcome out of the snowy weather down there. Full-time ER physician as well, practicing 25 years, starting in commercial real estate 3 years ago, now raising capital for deals with 2 or 3 funds. The Doctor Investor, a platform providing financial education, empowerment, and alternative investments for physicians, turning this into a community, offering ongoing access to understanding the opportunities for medical professionals. Let's welcome to the show, Shamim Nazir. Shamim, physician turned real estate investor. And I know from family members, you're like in a snow apocalypse down there. Are you staying warm?
Yeah, it's actually really nice today. We didn't get as much snow this time around. I think Houston got it.
Got it. Well, my family is definitely in Houston and quite an extraordinary background, Shamim. And Shamim, what is your fun fact that you'd like this group to know about you?
Gosh, this is a tough one. I'm not that fun, and I have never flooded my basketball court. So yeah, I was struggling when I heard I had to come up with a fun fact. Well, I was going to say I speak Turkish for no reason at all.
You speak Turkish for no reason?
Fluent, yeah.
And when did you start to learn Turkish, Shamim?
I learned it back in 2014 because I had some friends, and then it became sort of a challenge, and then I became quite fluent, and I've been to Turkey twice without any help, and I've stayed with Turkish people, and so I'm pretty impressed with myself about it.
That is impressive, Shamim. That's something that would make us go, no way. Like, you taught yourself Turkish and now you speak it fluently for no other reason than to hang out with your friends and go to Turkey.
Apparently, yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I don't know that we'll be speaking any Turkish on the Heart of Influence today, because I'm not sure any of the rest of us would understand it. But are you ready to have some fun today?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
Bella, where I grew up around a lot of Turkish-speaking people, and I don't know any Turkish, so that I'm very impressed.
You can't even say hello to Shamim in Turkish?
Hello in Turkish.
Oh my God.
Actually, my daughter loves Turkish movies. I have no idea why. She doesn't understand any of it, but I think she's going to be learning Turkish as well.
Okay.
Shamim, you've started a trend here. We've got like Turkish speak.
Who knew?
Don't speak it, and people who watch Turkish movies for no reason.
Yeah.
See how fun your fun fact is.
It's very fun after all. Yeah.
It is very fun after all. It sparked conversation, which is what a fun fact is supposed to do. And Shamim, are you ready to have some fun?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
All right. Coming from New York, New York, President and CEO of a commercial real estate brokerage, advisory, and management firm operating in New York and New Jersey since 1987. 40 plus years in real estate investment, development, and corporate finance, a unique perspective shaped by leadership roles at major firms, co-founder of a funding firm as well, provides innovative financing solutions to businesses nationwide. Let's welcome to the show, Craig Schenker.
My fun fact is when I was at University of Miami my freshman year.
Go Hurricanes.
I had a pushing fight in the elevator with Jim Kelly, who's, 4-time Super Bowl guy. That's my fun fact. Of course, he never won the Super Bowl because every time he was about to, take it to he probably had his thoughts about that fucking guy Schenker.
That guy that was shoving him in the elevator.
Yeah. What was that? 1978. He was a redshirt freshman. And I threw my friend out the elevator. We were freshmen. And then I go walking out of the elevator. And then this asshole pushes me. I go, F you. And that was the beginning of the pushing fight. And so that's my fun fact and claim to fame.
That is a super fun fact, Craig, and such the differences between men and women, Shamim, because I don't think you and I are pushing anybody out of any elevators, but that definitely seemed like a fun thing for you to do, Craig. And now you have a fun fact about it. So that is awesome. And are you ready to have some fun? Do you promise not to shove anybody on today's show?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
No, it's a good thing we're not in person and we're just little small squares on a screen. So we didn't get pushed around by Craig. But Craig, thank you so much for being here and are you ready to have some fun?
Okay.
Rolling with Craig, hopefully not shoved out of an elevator, coming from Jacksonville, Florida. Creativity and growth mindset have had core values in everything he does. 30 plus years of medical sales, primarily in cardiovascular space, helped build 4 startups, one in which he helped launch in Japan, building new revenue streams for the next phase in life. Let's welcome Larry Adams.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I guess my fun fact is the only way I can tie turkey and flooding an auditorium into one is Turkish towels at a new short-term luxury vacation rental home. So tying into real estate as well. My fun fact is that, I did get to go to Japan, not speaking any Japanese, and launch a new atherectomy device for the atherectomy thrombectomy market over there. So.
Whoa. And what is this? And say what the device is again, because I'm sure Dr. Bart and the other sophisticated individuals, physicians here know exactly what you're talking about. But I think you might as well just have spoken Japanese to me.
So an atherectomy device removes atherosclerotic tissue from inside the vessel that's causing a blockage. And a thrombectomy is removing thrombus or blood clots. So.
Yeah, you're still speaking Japanese to me, but I'm sure all the other physicians here know exactly what you're talking about. And so thank you for sharing that, Larry, because that definitely says a lot about who you are, the mission in the world. And thank you for sharing that with the other fine folks that I'm sure know exactly what you're talking about.
And I can always help you with that, Bella.
Okay, what explain? This is what I do in ChatGPT when I don't understand something. I'm like, explain dot to a third grader. And so Dr. Bart, if you were explaining that to a third grader, what would you say?
Just unplug your artery. That's it.
There you go. Now I got that.
Can I ask the good doctor? I have a coronary artery calcium score of 640, and then I had a heart attack and a stent. And I didn't know you can take the calcium out. That sounds like a pretty interesting concept.
Well, let's talk about that. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead, Larry. Keep it short.
Really
let's give it a 30-second answer.
I'm not a doctor first, but it depends on where the calcium or the blockage is and whether it can be reached. And now they've got new technologies to break up the calcium so that it's more flexible. So a balloon angioplasty or a stent does a better job. But there's some new stuff in the market now that is where you can reduce your calcium burden as well as your plaque burden. And it'll be the standard of care in the next 5 years.
Well, thank you for that, Larry, because I'm hearing, Craig, we might save your heart on the show. So that is super exciting. So make sure Dr. Bart and Jay will make sure everybody gets connected after the show so you can continue these conversations. But thank you so much.
To the heart of influence. Wow.
What's that?
New meaning to the heart of influence.
Seriously, new meaning to the heart of
And here's the truth. I need to practice too, so I'll practice on Craig. All right, next.
Perfect. Next up, going back to Hoboken, New Jersey. Mortgage expert, nearly 22 years of experience specializing in personal solutions for home buyers and investors in New Jersey, New York, Florida, California, and Pennsylvania, simplifying complex financial processes and fostering trusted partnerships with clients and industry professionals. A proven veteran, passionately helping families achieve home ownership, and a dedicated father of 2 amazing teens, 16 and 17. Let's welcome to the show, Marco Moreno. Hello, Marco, to the Heart of Influence. And what we are doing, we are sharing a headline fun fact, something that is cool that you've done, something that you're proud of, something that would make us go, Marco, no way.
So I had a different one written down, but now that I see you all have amazing fun facts, I think mine would be that in an average year, I'll fly anywhere between 46 to 62 times in a year.
You're flying 46 to 62 times in a year. And are you going to the same places? You're going to different
No, we
places?
go. I go to all different places and stuff. Like, the times that I don't have to be home, I like to be somewhere, especially in the winter time when it's cold here in Jersey. I like to go somewhere warm and
And so
escape.
if you were going to get on a plane tomorrow and could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Anywhere in the world tomorrow. I would probably go to St. Bart's because I haven't been there.
St. Bart's. Very cool.
After
Well,
my name.
yes, maybe if we're winning at today's show, we'll all be headed to St. Bart at the end of the show. How does that sound, Marco?
That'd be amazing. Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Well, it sounds like he's part of the unblinded team with that many flights a year.
I'm telling you, I think I definitely, I'd have to do the math, but I'm on an airplane at least once a week. If not, last week I was on an airplane. In 1 week, I was on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes just last week. Yes.
Wow, amazing.
That was, yeah, that was a crazy.
Do you fly anybody specific or just whoever's going where you're going?
What airline do I fly?
Yeah.
Typically United, because it's a hub here in Denver and it's a hub in New Jersey, and I fly a lot to New Jersey.
Okay.
And so I have the highest level status with them. And so that's typically not like the best airline. I prefer Delta, but nowhere do I fly often is Delta a hub. So I stick to United.
That's awesome.
So thank you, Marco. Next up, one of our co-producers for today, bringing extraordinary people together from Tampa Bay, Florida. Board certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon, a pioneer in the space of regenerative medicine, a thought leader in health optimization and biohacking, a leader helping doctors reimagine the business of medicine while introducing new paradigms of health access. Nominated for Nobel Peace Prize for his humanitarian work, let's welcome to the show, Dr. Bart Rademacher. Dr. Bart, one of my favorite humans on the planet, along with Jay Levine, of course. But Dr. Bart, what is the fun fact that you have for these fine folks today?
Well, I think the intro with flooding is right on with me, so I'm going to try to compete with Dustin there. And so I was destined to be a pediatrician. That's what I decided when I became a doctor. And my very first rotation was in pediatrics. And if it wasn't for the last day in that rotation, I would have certainly been kicked out because I armed all these kids with all these water guns and totally flooded the ward and got in so much trouble. I'm actually surprised that they even given me a grade. In fact, it was just a pass. But it was super fun. The kids had the best time in their lives, and I feel like I did a good thing for them.
I love it. I'm seeing a water gun fight at our next immersion, Dr. Bart. That is a super fun fact. We got lots of flooding going on here. And thank you so much for that fun fact to Dr. Bart. And since Dr. Bart, it obviously seems like you are a man of fun. Are you ready to have some fun?
Always, especially with you, Bella and Jay and these fine folks today. It'll be super fun.
It'll be super fun. Let's do it. And next up, our producer of the show from New Milford, New Jersey, co-founded 194 Real Estate Group in 2020, grown to 20 plus agents and reached over 800 million in sales, recognized in 2023 as one of Bergen County's best in both individual and company real estate. Recently moved to Coldwell Banker in Q1, recognized as one of the top 20 teams in the New York, New Jersey metro area, helping all clients and agents reach their goals using the formula of integrous influence and the new form of competition, which is collaboration. Let's welcome to his show, Mr. Jay Levine.
Hi, Bella.
I know him.
Hello, Jay Levine. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Bella.
And Jay
So my
Levine,
fun fact.
have you flooded any auditoriums or any hospitals, or do you have a different fun fact?
So ironically, Dustin, you definitely triggered my fun fact for this afternoon, and it's going to be two of them quickly. One is I too dealt with some flooding, but it was from a storm, and our entire football field when I was in high school was flooded, and I was on a canoe on my football field until the police told us to please stop canoeing around the football. And number two, I happened to have kicked a basketball through the library window at our middle school accidentally, and I may have, because of school's glass is made to break into small pieces, I may or may not have spread about 7 million pieces of glass throughout the entire library on a Sunday right before after basketball. So I may or may not have done those two things. So that is my fun fact for the day.
We have got a destructive crew here today, Jay Levine. That is a super fun fact. And Jay Levine, are you ready to have some fun on your show? And would you like to introduce me, or would you like for me to introduce myself since my co-host is not here?
Bella Verita, so I am going to, since your co-host is not here, I feel as though I have to say something about this incredible person. So it may not be word for word what Sean says, but from my
We've co-hosted enough of them to know a thing or two.
I know a thing or two, and I know that you went from selling crafts as a young woman on your front lawn to becoming one of the number one business broker in the state of Nevada, first female to ever do it, and only two others have ever done it, male or female, right? Best business broker, male or female, but the only female to ever do it. I know that you have recently become a pastor, right, on your journey. And I know that over the last couple of years, you have helped raise millions of dollars in charity for Ukrainian refugees. And I know most recently you battled and undefeated Bella, cancer, and then became a pastor. And now you are spreading incredible love and joy throughout the whole world here on the Heart of Influence, and an incredible part of what we do here. And thank you, Bella, for being here. And I know I did you no justice, but I love you and thank you.
Yes,
your fun fact.
Yes, thank you for that, Jay Levine. And I was the number one business broker in the state of Nevada, the first and only woman to ever achieve that. So thank you for that, Jay Levine. And I will go for the fun fact, since we are telling high school fun facts. I will go with the fun fact that I sold drugs in high school. I drove a green Jeep that said smoke on the side. And yes, as Jay said, I just graduated from ministerial school at a 4.0. So I have gone from drug dealer to God dealer in my life. So that is my fun fact for today.
I think you made the right choice, Bella. I think you made
I think I did. You know, when I had a double barrel shotgun held at my face, I thought, maybe this is not the right business opportunity to go down in life. Probably not going to last too long, and retired from selling drugs.
I think you made the right choice. We appreciate that here.
I think we made the right choice. And so, Jay Levine, we've had some fun. Dr. Bart, we've had some fun. Now it's time to get serious, because we're going to play a game, because Plato said, play a game with me for an hour. I think Plato might have been Dustin's friend. Play a game with me for an hour, and we will learn more about each other than if we spoke for a year. So as much as I know you guys would love to spend an entire year with myself, Dr. Bart, and Jay Levine, we're going to play a game for a half an hour, get to know each other a little bit, and then continue those relationships. So Jay, who is going to kick us off in our fun game today?
Dustin is going to kick us off on our fun game today.
Dustin. So hopefully he doesn't flood the show. Dustin, what we're doing is all business is built on shared experience and the superpower of causing yes. Because if you cannot cause yes, you cannot grow your company as big as you've grown it if you cannot cause yes. So this show is about causing yes. So Dustin, what's going to happen is Jay Levine is going to be anyone that you would like him to be, Dustin. Anyone that you would like to go from hello to yes with. He can be an ideal client. He can be a philanthropic partner. He can be an ecosystem merger. But someone, and Dustin, for some reason, we have lost your video. but Jay will be anyone that you want him to be. This isn't like Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room. This is simply could be for a longer meeting, a yes that you would like to cause. And so, Dustin, who would you like Jay Levine to be?
Yeah, sorry about my video. I'm not sure what happened. I froze and now it's saying my video is not working. So
I thought he was going to get a basketball to throw at us.
Make it rain. Well, our target market is young physicians. So I guess a doctor who's kind of finishing up their training is kind of our normal target.
Okay, paging Dr. Levine. Paging Dr. Levine. Take us in.
Hello, this is Dr. Levine.
Hey, Dr. Levine, great to meet you. I hear you're in residency. Is that right?
Yeah. Who's this?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't. I assumed you knew me. My name's Dustin Karras. I'm with Pattern, and we help doctors compare their disability insurance options. And I got your information from a friend who said you were looking at your disability insurance options, looking to protect your income.
Yeah, Dustin, I'm so sorry. You're right. I was expecting your call. I totally forgot that we had this on the schedule. So my apologies. And yeah, I was absolutely expecting your call. And so what's going on? What you got for me?
Yeah. Well, I just want to get to know you a little bit here. I understand you're in residency. How's that going for you?
Listen, it's a lot of work. I think I knew what I was getting myself into before I got into it, but it's a passion. Helping people, not just in what I do, but just in general. That has always been something that's been special to me. And protection. I think protection's a big part of why I chose the profession that I chose, to protect myself, my family, and others. And I think that's why I'm curious to talk to you a little bit more in that furthering of that protection.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, obviously, we've talked to a lot of doctors from our side of things, and one thing we know is that residency fellowship, it's a demanding time, and you're putting a lot of effort and kind of pouring the foundation for your whole future. Yeah, so I guess when you think about your future, you've invested what 10 to 12 years in training now.
Yeah, it feels like more, but I would say it's about 12 years now. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess, have you ever thought about if you, let's say that something happens and you're unable to practice medicine when you leave residency, what would you do if you were unable to do practice anymore?
So, it's interesting that you asked that question because, I do have a family. I was talking to my wife and, we always kind of forecast for the future and, talk about the what ifs in life. And, it's a part that, being young, I kind of don't think about as much. But I have had some instances in the last few months where things have happened unexpectedly, where it just made me kind of realize that nothing's permanent and I should be protected like I protect other people. So that was kind of the reason I set this call up. But listen, I'm a doctor. I may have a lot of book smarts, but this part of the world confuses me, and I'm just not sure who to trust, how to take the next step. Who's the right person for me to actually be even talking to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking a moment to chat with me. Yeah, our goal is to simplify this whole process for physicians. There's a lot of confusing, complex language that's used out there, a lot of insurance jargon, and that's one of the things that frustrates me the most about our industry. And so appreciate you giving me the opportunity to hopefully build some trust here with regard to this. And you're not wrong. Like there's a lot of unexpected things that can come up in our lives. In the last 6 months, we've received 3 doctor phone calls. 2 of them, one was 29, one was 34, both females. They're going through cancer treatments now. Obviously, totally unexpected. And then the third one is a young gentleman. He just finished his boards. He's contracted to go work. And he's, I think, the 5th person that got contracted with this particular disease that essentially paralyzes him from the waist down. I don't know what it's called, but so he's obviously unable to work. He was going to be an EM doc, so his life's changed. So that sort of stuff happens, and it's never anything that you expect. And
hey, Dustin, I don't mean to cut you off. My phone just rang, and I got to get into the surgery.
Paging Dr. Levine. Paging Dr. Levine.
There it is. Listen, great conversation. I'd love to follow up with another conversation if we could do that next Tuesday at 3 p.m. End of roll.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Great job, Dustin. We'll get to the feedbackers in just a moment. And Marco, who would you like Jay Levine to be? Or should we have Dr. Bart step into a role play? Dr. Bart, do you want to step into a role play?
I like that. This is fun. This is a fun
All
day.
right, let's do it.
Sean's not here. We do whatever we want.
We can't do whatever we want.
So I can play doctor really well. Jay didn't do such a good job, but
Well, now you're gonna get to play realtor. So good luck, buddy.
There you go. All right, Marco, who would you like Dr. Bart to be?
Let's see. I guess I want Dr. Bart to be a physician who is a newer physician looking for a home loan.
New physician. So you got to go back in time, Dr. Bart, like 5 years when you were a new physician. And now you're looking for a home loan. Do you think you got this?
yeah, let's do it.
All right. Take us in.
Dr. Bart, how are you, sir? This is Marco Moreno at Great Affinity.
Yeah, okay, great.
I understand. I spoke to your agent, Jason Levine. He said that you're in the market for a new home.
Who?
Jason Levine. He's the best realtor in New Jersey.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're a realtor, and he told me that you were in the search for a home, but that you're concerned because you have about $800,000 in student loans.
Right.
So he mentioned that you think you may not qualify.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I have, I'm totally clueless on any of this stuff. So, yeah. Tell me what you got.
Are you renting at the moment?
Yes, I am.
What are you paying in rent?
Like $3,500.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty substantial rent payment.
Yeah.
Basically, the reason for my call is because I specialize in financing home loans for physicians. Physicians 10 years out of their fellowship or their residency. I have a product where we don't have to count your loans against you. Obviously, that helps you.
Oh, wow.
For a home loan. It's something that is specialized here at GRA. So I wanted to see if I could maybe run some numbers for you.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Fantastic. If you could purchase a home now, what price point do you think you'd be looking at?
Again, no idea, but I'm looking for, at least a 4, maybe 5-bedroom home. You got my kids and I got an office that I need. So, and again, I'm thinking more like a little bit of property, some, just a garden in the back and just a good neighborhood. So to be honest, I have no freaking idea what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but here's the good news for that. Based on what you're looking for, I can actually offer you a home loan just for physicians that you can actually do 100% financing up to $1 million, no mortgage. Because I'm assuming with your student loans and being in school, you probably don't have much of a savings.
Actually, none, by the way.
By the way, even better. So yeah, basically with my product, it's actually a under market rate. You could purchase a home up to $1 million, no down payment, and really the only expense is your closing costs. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, but how's that even possible?
Like I said, it's a special portfolio product only for physicians. As long as you're a MD, DO, DDS, or a DMD, or a oral surgeon, you can do this.
Oh, great. Can we meet tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Hey, Marco, I play a doctor on TV. Do I qualify for this?
No, you don't.
That is a phenomenal program, Marco, and I think there's definitely a lot of cross intersection here. So great job, Marco. Dr. Bart is tough. He wasn't messing around. He is not easy to get an yes from, but great job. Sean Callaghy is calling. Please hold.
So I was just helping Jay understand what it was to play a doctor.
I'm on the show called The Heart of Influence.
And by the way, Marco, definitely want to talk tomorrow. I mean, I'm not kidding.
Yes.
And
hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second. Jay, go do the feedback round. You know what to do.
Yep, we're going. All right, so here's what we're gonna. This is the part of the show where we get to give back in the form of feedback. So we had Marco go and we had Dustin go. So we're going to go around and we're going to give 30 seconds of feedback for either Marco or for Dustin. I will tell you who you're going to give feedback with. Let's start with a something that you felt could have been optimized, and that's something that you liked. And then a score, but we're going to score this in a little bit of a different way. And the score is going to rank from, was that so revolting that you'd rather go to the dentist and get a root canal? Would you like to get a number two option would be, I would like to get a cup of coffee with Marco or Dustin and maybe mocha chocolate? Or would it be number three option? That was pretty incredible, and I have to spend some FaceTime with either Dustin or Marco, and you're going to the Capitol Grill for a seafood tower, or maybe you don't eat seafood, so you're going for steak. You don't eat steak, so you're definitely getting the cheesecake and the dessert. And if all else fails, and what you want to do is spend the most time, the most FaceTime, do the most things, you're taking a private jet to St. Bart's this time. We're going to St. Bart's. You're picking up St. Bart and Jay Levine and Bella, and we're going on vacation. That is the four options. So 30 seconds of feedback. We're going to start with Dr. Nazir, your 30 seconds of feedback for Dustin, and unmute when you're ready. Shamim.
Was he the first one, I guess?
Dustin was the first one, yes.
Sorry. Yeah, I would say the middle ground, I guess. We can have a coffee.
All right. And what would you say was something that you enjoyed about that and something that you would give an optimization on?
Well, I think as a physician, actually, you were really nice to him. I don't think most of us would talk to anybody who's going to sell us any kind of insurance. So, but yeah, so I think we're always a little reluctant to like dive in. So I think that's just sort of, I think that would be the norm. Nothing against Dustin. I think he was great, but you know, I think it's just a typical reaction.
All right, so I'm hearing we're getting a cup of coffee, Dustin, and maybe there's some things Dr. Nazir and Dustin can have a conversation about. So thank you, Dr. Nazir. Next on my screen, no particular order, we have Larry, your 30 seconds of feedback for Mr. Marco Moreno.
Well, I think Marco did a good job. He definitely knows his product. He probably could have set the stage for Dr. Bart in his role, and maybe having a little more information about the type of properties and what he's bringing to the table, and gotten to that point a little quicker. So I'd say he'd be just above middle of the road on that presentation.
All right, so we're saying Capitol Grill for some steak, or we're doing coffee? Where are we at?
Well, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I definitely have some iced tea or something with him, and then maybe work towards that Capitol Grill visit. I do have a son-in-law who's a just out of school dentist that might be needing his services.
There we go. So we're talking about potential Capitol Grill and definitely a sweet tea, if I'm hearing you correctly, Larry. Bella, we are headed over to Craig for his 30 seconds of feedback. Craig, over to you. For Dustin.
Well, honestly, I really don't know what to say. I find that cold calls don't work anymore. Nobody picks up, and they're the ones that do have been so inundated with cold calls. I mean, they worked in the 80s, they worked in the 90s, maybe the 2000s, but they've just stopped working.
Hey, Dr. Bart, what would you say to the comment that cold calls don't work anymore?
You know what? I would 100% disagree, because I just made 5 of them today, and I'm breaking ground on this whole idea of medical revenue recovery. And I alluded to the fact that I learned something from Sean and you and everyone else.
Yes. And I would say this, so Craig, and we don't call it cold calling here, call it impact calling. And yes, people used to do it, then they got away from it, but it is actually the sustainable way to building business. And did you know somebody here? How did you get invited here?
Jay.
And Jay, how did you know Craig?
Craig called me about something real estate related, and then I flipped the script a little bit on Craig and asked him to come here. So Craig kind of cold called me.
No. I reached out to the owner of the property, the horse property, and then I guess he told you to call me. I think you called me.
So it was kind of a cold call, and it kind of worked.
I sent them an email though. Yeah.
Yeah. Sent an email, but and we won't get into it here.
I like emailing. The cold call, however you want to phrase it. Firstly, everybody's got a filter and unknown call. If I get calls, I don't recognize the number. I mean, who takes them these days? Half of them are robocalls.
Half of them are robocalls, but I would say it is definitely not dead for sure. And if you want to reach out to people of influence, reaching out to them to the phone definitely works. We have a whole system on that. We won't get into that right now, but thank you so much for that, Craig. And Jay, where are we headed?
So for feedback for Marco, last but certainly not least, is Dr. Bart Rademacher.
Dr. Bart Rademacher, your feedback for Marco.
Well, I thought Marco did a great job. Yeah, clearly as doctors, I mean, we're a pain in the butt. We're arrogant, and we just don't have any time for anyone else. But his whole demeanor, his cadence in his conversation, he wasn't phased out, and really, I threw him a curveball, and he just landed it perfectly. So absolutely, capital goal for sure. And I have to agree with Shamim, Jay, you're way too easy, too educated, and too willing to have a conversation. We need to do better with you, by the way.
I'm projecting what I want the doctors to sound like when I call them.
Okay, there you go. Perfect.
There you
did
go.
a great job.
Thank you for that feedback, Dr. Bart. And Dr. Bart, Jay, this is usually the time in the show that I get to put my co-host on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about. But since he's in the middle of a medical emergency and not here, I cannot put him on the hot seat. So Jay Levine, Dr. Bart, you guys get to put me on the hot seat in a scenario that I don't know anything about. So do you have something ready for me? Hopefully it's not making the Pope eat a cheeseburger or have a drink, because Jay Levine usually comes out with these like crazy scenarios of like making Gandhi break a fast with a cheeseburger or making the Pope have a drink. So what do you got for me today, Jay Levine?
I will not do that to you, Bella Verita. I only like seeing Sean squirm like that, not you, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
So what I would like to do today, and I think this is appropriate for the group, is Dr. Nazir, your transition into real estate is inspiring to me. And it's something that I want to spotlight here. So I would like you to be Dr. Nazir, Bella, and having a conversation with Dustin Karras. Dustin doesn't have to play himself, but I thought he could play himself here. With Dustin around having being able to speak to his network of 10,000 doctors about real estate investment and syndication and how that could help their future and protection of their wealth and legacy.
Got it. Okay. So first of all, Dr. Nazir, will you permit me to play you in this role play? It's a tall order, but hopefully I can fill those shoes.
Yes, of course.
Perfect. And then Dustin, are you up for role playing with me?
Sure, you got it.
And then Marco, I just want to know, after I played Dr. Nazir, can I get a mortgage for for a new home?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right.
We're gonna have to stand in line for that one.
I didn't have to stand in line for that one. Okay. Perfect. Is Dustin available?
Yep, this is he.
Hey, Dustin, this is Dr. Nazir. Your team had set up for us to have a call for 3 minutes about a speaking opportunity. Does this ring a bell?
It sure does.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I know you're extremely busy. You've got a big ecosystem that you are supporting. So thank you so much for taking the call. And Dustin, if I may ask, what prompted you to take the call in the first place?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. What we do here is we work to protect doctors' incomes. And we think it drives everything in their lives, their income does. And so when it comes to real estate, that's another income stream that can be produced and obviously help doctors get to where they want to get to from a financial independence standpoint. So I see them working hand in hand, and eventually we want them to not have to have a disability insurance policy. We want them to be independently free from finances or in their finances, not be reliant on anything but their own income production. So it's very interesting to me.
So I'm hearing you care very deeply about your community. It seems like you already have obviously some knowledge in real estate, and you believe that this is a pathway to help your doctors achieve a reoccurring revenue that's outside of their practice. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And let me ask you, Dustin, like, how did you get started in this? Like, why do you have such a passion for helping doctors?
Yeah, I mean, in the financial services industry, we have a lot of bad raps, bad players in the industry, and doctors, to be frank, have a target on their back. They generally have the income, but they don't always have the insight and know how to navigate the world. It's not something they were trained in. They were trained clinically and not financially, and so. We want to step in and provide as much clarity and simplicity to this world as possible. And so that's really where we, want to thrive and help doctors navigate this world without getting ripped off. So that's a big piece of it for us.
I am so feeling your heart. And I'm just curious, did anything like, did you have doctors in your family that got taken advantage of, or where did this protection of doctors come from for you? Because I can feel energetically just the how much you want to protect doctors, how much they have a target on their back, as you said, how they get taken advantage of. And I feel like, we don't know each other that well, but you stake your reputation on protecting doctors. Did that come from anywhere in particular, or that just how you figured you can make your mark in the world is protecting doctors?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a natural fit there. I have a strong interest in personal finance. It's something that is interesting to me, and doctors, again, they're a whole different breed where they're brilliant. But if you give them the information, you give them the data, they can usually make great decisions. And so I love being able to bridge the gap for people who can understand and get it. And doctors have a big impact in their communities, obviously with their patients and all that. So I see it as an impact play. If I can make a doctor's life a little bit less stressful, then that goes a long way in them having their impact. So I would say that's what it's rooted in.
Good. Well, thank you for that. And just one last question, and I'll share about me. And then, if it makes sense, we'll continue a conversation. But Dustin, like, how much do you already know about, real estate, commercial real estate, capital, that as a platform for helping doctors and recurring revenue? Like, how much do you understand on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10? 10, a tremendous amount about the industry already, or 2, like you barely don't know that much about the industry already?
I'd give myself a 7.
A 7. Okay, so pretty knowledgeable in the real estate market, and pretty knowledgeable in what it could do for physicians.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if it's okay, Dustin, in our, maybe final 30 seconds, 45 seconds we have, is it okay if I share a little bit about me? And if it makes sense, we'll kind of schedule a longer conversation.
You bet. Looking forward to it.
Well, first of all, I have been an ER physician for 25 years. So I have been in the role of doctor. I understand, what it means to be a doctor. And just like you said, I didn't want to be a physician that solely relied on just my physician income. And so I transitioned into commercial real estate about 3 years ago. Now I have funds I have 2 to 3 funds going, and I help doctors not only invest, but also provide financial education and empowerment on alternative investments for physicians, and bringing a community together that does that. And so Dustin, if this resonates with you, what I'd love to do is schedule a little bit longer meeting. I understand you have a network of physicians, and maybe we could talk about a conversation of me coming in to speak to your physicians, educating them on what it means to invest in commercial real estate, what it means to be on the other side as a physician in investment platform. How does this resonate with you or not, Dustin?
Yeah, no, I think there's an opportunity to collaborate there for sure.
Beautiful. Well, let's schedule that longer conversation and take it from there. Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Dr. Nazir, for letting me play you. I went with as much information as I had on my bio sheet about you. But of course, in that section, you would expand, just once you've asked if there's a little bit more you can share, you would share everything there is to know about you. But that's what I knew in those 3 minutes. So thank you for permitting me. And Dr. Nazir, how did I do as you in that role play?
You did great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Dr. Nazir, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence?
Oh, so far so good. It's been great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. And Dustin, how was that role play for you?
Yeah, that's good. It was interesting. I learned a lot from you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for jumping in. How was your time overall on the Heart of Influence, Dustin?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. If you are invited to our Paramus office anytime, just please don't flood it when you come for a visit. So thank you, Dustin. And let's go. Marco, also doing a phenomenal job in the participant seat. Thank you, sir. And how was your time with us today on the Heart of Influence?
Enjoyed it a lot. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I will be reaching out to you now that I am a doctor on TV. I'll be reaching out to you, but thank you, Marco. It's definitely something phenomenal, and definitely connect with Jay and Dr. Bart, because there's definitely more to do together for sure. And let's go, Craig. Craig, how was your time with us today on the Heart of Influence?
Eye-opening. Eye-opening.
Eye-opening. That is fantastic, because we like to say everything starts when that door is open. So thank you so much for that, Craig. And let's go, Larry. Larry, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence?
It was very good, and thank you, Dr. Bard, for the invitation and having me included.
Thank you, Larry. And let's go, Dr. Bart. Any final words that you would like to share with this group before I close it out?
Well, I'm impressed by both your capability and Jay's capability, and this is just a testament to the unblinded mastery and the idea of duplication. And so you've proven that, incredibly well, both of you. So Sean, move over. We're taking over.
We're taking over. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Dr. Bart. And Jay, what say you on your show today? As Sean was not here, you got to put me in the hot seat. Duplication is happening. And Jay, anything that you would like to share in final?
Yes. So first off, thank you to everybody that did participate and came here. And I know that, the hot seat situation, obviously Bella just, acknowledged it as well, is not always the easiest spot to be in. And Dustin and Marco handled it, phenomenally. And Bella, I just really want to acknowledge you, because what you just demonstrated there is not just duplication. It's the fact that this formula is real. And when you have it and you can follow it and you can understand it, it doesn't matter if you know everything. Like, you didn't know everything about Dr. Nazir, but I'll be honest, I was very impressed with that conversation. And I think Dustin was not really role playing there. I think there was real conversations happening there about real things. And that's what inspires me, because this group was put together for that exact reason, that we felt that there is opportunity for people in this room and the opportunity to have your eyes opened like Craig and see something that you maybe didn't see before. And if we can be access to that and help others see things that they can't see, then I know I'm having a good Wednesday.
Absolutely. That it definitely is. And thank you so much for that, Jay Levine. And the truth is every time, I got to step into the magic moment in place of Sean, my knees are always knocking. But there is a formula, and that formula, there's a couple of gifts in the chat for you. And the unblinded formula is one of those. There's a group influence book, so you can download that. Check out the formula that I actually just used that is duplicatable, that I'm sure Dr. Bart and Jay use that formula to get everybody here together today. And this is about you guys meeting. There's definitely some cross intersections between a lot of you. So you want to continue those conversations. Make sure you reach out to Jay and Dr. Bart and say, what more can we do together? Because these are two leaders that cause ecosystem merging at the highest level. And you can join us on Wednesday mornings. That first link is to join us Wednesday morning. We open up our huddle to everyone. You'll get to meet Sean on that. He's very sorry that he could not make it here today. He doesn't usually miss shows very often, but he's legit having a medical emergency. And then we have an influence immersion coming up. You can click that link as well. But this really is about you guys meeting each other, forwarding the relationships with the co-hosts as well. So on behalf of Sean Callaghy, Jay Levine, and Dr. Bart, I want to thank everybody for being here. And as Sean would say, we are all blind, Jay and Dr. Bart, and just learning to